of the vampire. The final act. Then see the carriage racing down to the burning town, where they see the carnage and the survivors. The carriage stops as John, Murnau and Aaron get out of the carriage to see what they can do to help. Where did the fire start? At John's house! What? Sarah! John, wait! I'll go after him, you find the Baron. Aaron then runs after John, who sprints to his burning home, while Murnau sees the church unburnt and untouched. He now knows where the Baron is, and heads straight to the church with a cross and a wooden stake. John and Aaron arrive at his burning house, where they see Sarah's corpse mangled by the fires on the ground. I should have stayed. It's not your fault, John. You couldn't protect her, but you can avenge her. Why couldn't you protect us, Father? John, that's not your daughter. She's a vampire. John ignores Aaron's warnings and heads to his undead daughter, while one of the vampire servants runs and attacks Aaron, who manages to fend him off with his sword. John is now right in front of his daughter, with his axe in his right hand. Won't you protect us, Father? So arrogant and weak. I didn't think this could happen to us, but it has. And I am so sorry it has. But you are not my daughter. I buried my daughter, and you are an undead monster. Laura then snarls and runs to attack John, but he swings his axe and takes her head clean off. He then runs to help Aaron against a vampire who has him pinned to the ground and is about to bite his neck, when John swings his axe into his back, causing him to scream in pain, while Aaron slashes his throat, causing him to fall closer to the house when the tower at the top of it starts to fall. Aaron, move out of the way! Aaron just makes it out of the way while the vampire is crushed by the burning tower. 2 down, 3 to go. And now you die. One of the vampires runs out of the bushes and sends John flying and grabs Aaron by the throat, but before he can snap it, he is stabbed in the chest, causing him to drop Aaron to the ground. John then runs at the vampire, who's screaming in pain with the sword sticking out. He cannot remove it due to the holy water on it. John then slashes the vampire across the head with his axe. Where's Murnau? He's gone to the church. We then see Murnau heading to the church, which still remains unburnt by the fires of the vampires, which has consumed most of the town. He then blesses himself before entering. He then walks up to the steps, but before he can open the door, the last vampire servant bursts out of the door and sends Murnau flying back down the stairs. Hello, James. I've been looking forward to you, draining your life. just like I drained your wife. The Baron sent you to kill her, didn't he? Yes, now I finish what I started. The vampire then runs to grab Murnau by the throat and lifts him off the ground and throws him into the gate. He then runs to him and tries to bite him on the throat, but Murnau grabs his cross and stabs him in the eye, sending him back screaming in pain. In the name of the Father, I condemn you back to the fires of hell. Murnau then stabs him in the chest with a stake, destroying the vampire, who crumbles to dust. Aaron and John then run into the yard and reunite with Murnau. It's time to end this plague. The three of them then head into the chapel, where they see the dead bodies of some of the villagers on the ground, with their blood drained, and a large black coffin. That is the Baron's coffin. John and Aaron then run to the coffin while Murnau screams for them to stop. John, Aaron, stop! We need to wait till daybreak! The two ignore the warnings and reach the Baron's coffin, but before they can open it, the Baron himself bursts out, sending the two flying away while Murnau takes his cross out to warn him off. Christ compels you, Baron! The Baron then picks up one of the bodies and throws it at Murnau, knocking him to the ground with the speed of light. He appears just as Murnau hits the floor and rips his peg leg off and throws it to the other side of the church and grabs him by the throat and starts choking him. Prepare to join your wife in heaven. Unlike you, I don't fear death. I welcome it. Murnau then passes out, and the Baron takes this opportunity to drink his blood. But Murnau faked passing out and grabs the stake he dropped and drives it into the chest of the Baron, causing him to fly off him and struggle to get back to his coffin. Murnau then gets up, leaning on the wall with his cross in his hand, and Aaron and John then run to the Baron, Aaron slashing his face open, and John putting his axe into his chest, sending him into the coffin. By the power of God, I condemn you back to hell. The Baron then dies in his coffin and begins to rot and decay into dust until only his cape remains, his reign of terror ending. John and Aaron then run to Murnau, John getting his peg leg and reattaches it. We did it! We freed the town! Yes, but at what price? Whatever the price, we shall pay it all together. The three of them then head outside to see the fires put out and the villagers already making repairs and tending to the wounded as the sun emerges from the black clouds. The plague of the vampire is lifted. This place is yet again in God's care. We then see John looking at the burnt remains of his house. He then blesses himself, and with a smile and a single tear, he then looks at one of the few houses that didn't burn, where he sees Aaron reuniting with his wife and son, hugging and kissing them. John simply looks and smiles at them. Murnau is placing his things on his carriage. He then gets in and begins to drive off. He looks back at the village, taking solitude in the fact he helped them. As carriage then heads up to the mountains, heading back to his home, where we see a bat fly over him, flapping into the distance.